I'm Mary Ann Tilson Thomason. I live on Silver Mill in Madison County, Marshall, North Carolina. I am the fourth generation here. This is the only place I've ever lived in my entire life. And I'm 75 years old. This is my husband, Rick. We've been married since 1970, so he's been here about 53 years. This is the only place I've ever lived. The only house I ever lived in, burned in 1973, was right across the highway from this barn. But what this barn means to me, I could honestly say, is everything. It's the center of this whole farm. I didn't have chores. My daddy was 54 when I was born, and so I just ran loose on this farm. I remember coming over here before I was 10, hiding over here because I could watch the home place and see what was going on and watch the traffic and climbing trees, having total freedom to just go pilfer and do anything you want to. I would jump out of the rafters. We had more poles than are here right now, but I would get as high as I could at the top of that barn and jump out of that rafter into hay that was on this wooden floor that they had stored up for the horse. And sometimes you could feel the hardness of the wood below you when you jump so hard because the hay would just, you'd just go down and come back. But the spring house I loved, and we never thought about snakes or anything. It was beautiful up there, the moss and everything. So it always had the teacups and the toys and the dolls. And every spring I'd go up there and clean it out. My parents never used it as a spring house, but that's where Eliza and Jacob, they had 7 children, so they used it for a lot. And I think Rick found a date, my Aunt Harriet, my dad's sister.
1911.
Wrote her name on the spring house.
She wrote a bunch of stuff on there.
With pencil.
With pencil, and you can barely see it anymore.
We want to tell you about our barn. We'll show you pictures of the barn and everything, but the barn has always been here. It's been here my entire life.
It was built to fit the lay of the land. It's higher here than it is over here, and so since they didn't have the ability to grade sites off like they do today, they used the existing slope to their advantage, and that's one of the things that I guess I'm the proudest of, is the fact that at one point in time it was close to falling down. I mean, you couldn't walk on the floor. It was completely gone, and the southern pine beetle came along, and we had a bunch of trees that got hit by it. And before they damaged the trees too badly, the pine trees, I got a buddy of mine, I think it was Gary Ball, came over, and he had a portable sawmill, and he sawed out all this lumber and the beams that are underneath it and everything. And Terry Middleton and Ronnie Buckner came over and worked for several months, and I helped them whenever I could, but for the most part it was them. And they restored the barn, and they took out anything that was rotten or anything that looked weak, and they replaced it. And I think they've got it to where it'll maybe last another 150 years. I guess the thing that I'd like to tell people is the craftsmanship back in the day with simple tools, no power tools at all. The spring house looks like a work of art. The cabin looks like a work of art.
He's going to put a bathroom in the barn and water in the barn, because as we get older, we might have to live here closer to the road.